Hello and welcome to The Gray-Haired Writer. I hope you all had a great week and my femme fatale video helped you with your writing. Today, I'm going to talk to you about female villains in your story. Women can be just as ruthless and terrifying as male villains. Threaten a woman's child and you'll see a lady get mean. Often, though, you'll have her use psychological control, intelligence, and cunning as opposed to brute force. So, let's get to it then, shall we? Of course we shall. Number 1. She weaponizes emotional manipulation. Don't have her use a threat of violence. Instead, she destroys someone's career and relationships. You could write that she convinces someone to commit a crime for her, and then frames them for it or hides any evidence that she might have been involved in it. You could also have her gaslight her victims into thinking they're losing their sanity. As an example, a journalist is investigating her crimes who is now accused of domestic abuse, with fabricated evidence and witnesses who back up the accusation. Or, you could have her competing for a job promotion and frames her competitor for fraud or stealing company secrets and selling them to a competitor. That could be done. Number 2, killing with precision, and no hesitation. You know those monologues that victims or villains sometimes do? You've seen them in movies and in books saying, no doubt, where the villain explains, this is why I'm doing this, it's all because of this and that and everything else and whatever. Well, instead this lady just simply walks up to the guy, pulls her trigger, and walks away. Her dispatching of her enemies is really not reckless, but calculated and clean. Have her erase the victim so the body is never found. An example of this is your villain poisons a rival with a slow-acting toxin, which causes him to die of apparently natural causes several days later. This could give the appearance that she has an alibi. After all, she was nowhere near the victim when he died, and it looked like something that could happen to anyone, like a heart attack or a stroke, or he fell asleep at the wheel and crashed his car somewhere. Who knows what could happen in that? But she was nowhere near when he died, so she's presumed innocence. Number 3. Uses power and influence as opposed to brute force. Instead of beating the tar out of someone, she makes a phone call, and a life is ruined. There are powerful people, such as politicians or police chiefs or anyone along those lines, who do her dirty work. Your villain never gets caught until the climax, because she never gets her hands dirty. To do this in your story, let's say you have a detective or journalist is investigating her crimes. Suddenly he's fired and loses everything. His pension and career goes up in smoke. And to top it all off, his wife leaves him with their kids, sending him into despair and destitution. Number 4. She weaponizes her femininity and underestimation. She's assumed to be harmless until it's too late, due to her being a woman. Have the men in the story assume that because she's a woman, that she ain't any kind of a threat. After all, would a 200-pound man feel threatened by a 100-pound female? Probably not. So have her use this to her advantage. Write her playing the innocent victim, the grieving widow, or helpless woman to manipulate others in the story. Because she's underestimated due to her being a woman, her capability for violence hides in plain sight until the moment when she does her dirty deed, Whether it was done dirt cheap or not, who knows? To show this in your story, an assassin is meeting her with the intention to take her out. He assumes she would be easy victim. After all, he's twice her size and far stronger, and this was a fatal mistake. In mid-conversation, she takes a pen or anything else and sticks him in the throat. Or maybe his drink is laced with cyanide and dies. She makes her enemies destroy themselves. The villain doesn't whack her enemies directly herself. Have it so she sets up situations where they take each other out. She spreads lies and misinformation that ruins people's lives and turns allies against each other. That way, they don't come after her. And being a master manipulator, she knows exactly which buttons to push. And then she sits back with a bowl of popcorn or simply enjoys the scene as someone self-destructs. After all, can you really think of a better way to defeat your enemy than to have your enemy defeat themselves? Not really, no, is there? Because that way you don't get bloodied. An example of this, how to do this, would be to have her spread information that a rival leader is a police informant. Then she goes laughing all the way to the money launderer as her own men execute him, and she takes over here the empire. Your female villain uses ruthless revenge and long-term planning. She don't get mad, she get even. But she does this even better. She makes her victims suffer over time, letting them believe they initially won the war, when in fact they only won the battle. And she won the war by taking away every single thing they love. She does this because she's patient and plays the long game. To do this, maybe have a man betray her, and then, bit by bit, she destroys his life. She does this discreetly until one day he wakes up to find his bank account's empty. His house is in foreclosure and his wife is now missing. What a dangerous lady that was. Number 7. She has no mercy. She shows no mercy and shows no weakness. Have her see emotion as a liability and cut ties with anyone who might make her appear weak. The ties that she could be cutting could be something that's holding her victim above a 100-foot cliff and snap, splat. Her own allies die mysterious deaths if they show any signs of disloyalty. She never forgives anyone who betrays her, no matter how long ago it was or how much she might have once cared for that person. An example of this would be to have her most trusted lieutenant starts having second thoughts. Perhaps he's her husband or lover of any type. She personally executes him, be it guillotine maybe, I don't know, to send a message to others. Number 8. She turns the hero's morality against him. She exploits the protagonist's sense of justice, fairness, or kindness against them, and uses it to her own advantage. She does this by forcing the hero into impossible choices. Maybe she has some hostages somewhere and forces the hero of the story into choosing to save them, which will let her escape, or arrest her and the hostages die. So there you have it. How to effectively portray female villains in your crime fiction story. I hoped the video helped you with your writing. Let me know in the comments which one resonates with you the most and if you're going to try any of your own. So, have a great day and week, and I'll see you in 7 days. So long, my friends.